Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and I have another fun s'more card to share with you today. Hey, so I'm using Jaded Blossom's card mat dies. They're Gnome Dies S'more Add Ons, Campfire and S'mores stamp set and outline dies, our Stitched Oval dies, our Girl Gnome dies, our S'more Stencil, and I'm using Doodlebug's Great Outdoors 6-inch pad, P13 stamping pad skin tones. You can get that at Jaded Blossom. Doodlebug's gingham linen, and their, what's it called? Their candy stripe and sprinkles. So first I'm going to put together the gnome. That was cut out of black cardstock. And then I'm adding the dress that's cut out of gingham linen. It's kind of like in an aqua, using Barely Art glue. Then I'll add the little face, that's P13 stamping pad skin tones. Like I said, Jaded Blossom has newly started carrying these. I know they're getting kind of low, so hopefully they'll reorder. There we go. Now I'm going to add my little s'more hat. That was cut from Paper Tray Ink Craft cardstock, and I'm just lining it up, and you'll see that I'll have to do some surgery. There we go. And then I'll add that to the top of her little head with that Barely Art glue. Sort of lining it up. There we go. And I do weight it down. And in the meantime, I'll put together the little fire that was cut from Doodlebug's gingham linen and Paper Tray Ink's dark chocolate cardstock. There we go. So that's with the gingham side. And then the little flame on the, on the front is on the linen side. There we go. And I'll just sort of line that up. There, and I'll weight that one down. And then I will continue on with this little gnome. So I'll add the, the little graham cracker on the top. So you kind of want to work from the top to bottom. And then I'll add the white marshmallow that's cut from Paper Tray Ink white cardstock. Using my reverse tweezers. All my die cutting today was done with a new machine. It's an Empress machine. It's awesome. And then I'm just adding on a little bit more Barely Art glue, and I'll add the dark chocolate cardstock from Paper Tray Ink. So now you have a cute little s'more hat. And then I'm adding the last little graham cracker on the bottom. There we go. And yeah, it's an Empress Mini. So, it can cut like something that's 4.25 inches or 4 inches wide, which is kind of nice because a lot of miniature machines are only 3 inches wide or so. So it's nice. Okay, so then I took a little Stampin' Up! Marker and chocolate chip just to add some little shadows to my chocolate layer. Not necessary, but kind of fun. Now I'm taking some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. I'm just using the edges, and I'll pop up her little nose that was cut from that P13 stamping pad skin tones again. And and I realized, darn it, I got to put the hair on first. So the hair is cut from American Crafts, kind of in this kind of rusty color. So it's got a bit of a texture to it. And I'm just adding the two little, braids on. There we go. And then I will pop up her nose, sort of overlapping the hat and the hair a little bit. There we are. I'll add two little bows that were cut from the dot stripe Doodlebug 6-inch pad from Rainbow Petite Prints. There we go. So all in that kind of aqua color, which is nice. And now I'm going to pop up her little feet with some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals again. And those were also cut from that P13 stamping pad skin tones that you can get at Jaded Blossom. Okay, so there we go. And isn't she cute? So I've got little fire. I've got her put together. Now I'm going to put together her little roasting stick. That is cut out of Paper Tray Ink dark chocolate cardstock, and then that marshmallow is the Paper Tray Ink white cardstock. Then there's a little layer that goes on the top. I kind of put my small pieces on some Post-it tape just so they don't go missing on my desk when they're small, It's easy. There's also a little tongue that I think I'm going to use, but I don't end up using it. So ignore that little white piece. I'm going to color it with a marker. This is, this ends up in the garbage. So don't pay any attention to me. I don't end up using it. Okay, so I went ahead and I cut out the s'more in Paper Tray Ink white cardstock, and I cut the face out. And I cut it out of black Paper Tray Ink cardstock for the background so you can see the face. Now, what I do is I cut the s'more out, or the little s'more in white. Then I cut the face out of it, and then I run it back through with the s'more die again to make sure all the lines are crisp again, because the little face can sometimes press out the, the little stitch lines. around the edges. So you want to, rerun it through. That's my trick. And like I said, I was using my Anna Griffin mini Empress machine, which I quite like. So I'm just adding on this, putting this together with some Barely Art glue. And you see I'm trying to add this tongue and I realize, oh, that's for the bigger face. What am I doing? Nope, not going to do that. So I'm just going to wipe off that glue. There we go. This little guy's going to end up on the inside of the card, just for some decoration. Now, I don't know if you remember, but I did a card recently where I used the stitched oval dies and I used the S'more stencil and I stenciled onto craft cardstock with Distress Oxide ink and Gathered Twigs and Walnut Stain. And then that white is, I used a Deco Foil Transfer Gel Duo and Maker Fort Deco Foil Snow Day. So it's white for the marshmallow. And I cut the oval out of the last card that I made. So then I'm using that oval on this card. I don't know, do you save pieces like leftovers from other cards and use them on new cards? I do it all the time. Okay, so this is the card mat dies that I cut out of Doodlebug's Candy Stripe Sprinkles 6-inch Rainbow Petite Prints pad. And then I'm adding these 2 stitched oval dies in dark chocolate and then craft for the s'mores. The dark chocolate one is the second largest, and then the one with the s'mores on it is the largest. So that little sentiment is stamped onto Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock with VersaFine Claire Nocturne ink, and I'm going to pop that up with some dimensionals. So that says, "Love you, S'more." And I always use the little leftover pieces. You might as well. There we go. So like I said, that little s'more pattern that I ink blended and did on the mini s'more release and review. You can check me out or watch me doing it on there. But I did make a card with it on day 2 that you can check out, and there's a video for that. Okay, so now I've got my little fire. I'm going to glue that down on the front of my card in the lower right-hand corner. There we go. And then I will pop up my little s'more cutie with some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. I'm going to use the edge, so I'll just cut it all apart and, fill up the whole back of it with that. There we go. So like I said, I don't know if when you cut dies out, do you use the leftovers from old cards on new cards? I do it all the time. So, don't throw out good stuff. Like, look how nice that ink blended background is, that s'more background. I would never throw that out. It's perfect. And the fact that it was already cut in an oval with the stitching, it was like totally fabulous. Okay, so now I'm, like I said, popping this all up with these dimensionals. And then I will pull off all the backings and stick her down. There we go. So this is a super easy and fun card to make, I think. I love these gnomes. I just think that they couldn't get any cuter. So I pulled all the backing off and I'm going to pop her down in the lower left-hand corner. Now I'm going to add her little stick. So I'll put a dimensional on the back of the marshmallow itself, but I will glue the stick flat down onto her body. So there we go. With that Barely Art glue, using my reverse tweezers. There we go. And then I'm going to pop on the little hands with some glue. So I won't pop them up this time. There we go. And I'm just getting them stuck in place like she's two-handing that marshmallow stick that she's roasting with. There we go. Now on the inside, I'm taking a piece of paper. This is 3/4 of an inch using my Fiskars trimmer. And that's from that Great Outdoors 6-inch pad from Doodlebug. There we go. And then I'm going to take over the leftover piece of that paper that I used on the front, that Candy Stripe and Sprinkles from the Rainbow Petite Prints in that aqua color. And I cut that at 1 inch. And I'm going to layer those up on the inside of my card. So I'm going to stick them down with some HEG tape. There we go. And then I will layer on the 3/4 of an inch strip. Just because I like to decorate the insides a little bit. And then I will cut off the overhang with a pair of scissors. There we go. And I'm going to pop this super cute little s'more in the lower right-hand corner. There you have it. Now I did use it, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, my A2 size card base was made out of dark chocolate cardstock from Paper Tray Ink, cut at 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25 inches to make a side fold card. I kind of usually do vertical fold, but So now I'm lining up my sentiment and I'm stamping it in VersaFine Clear Nocturne ink. I held that upside down, but you get the gist. And I'm using my Misty, and you stamp it twice to make it nice. So sending you s'more birthday wishes. Remember, don't push too hard, just gently press down. That way you're not going to distort your letters. There we go. Remember, you have to let that dry because they will smear. So now I'm pulling out shape sprinkles from Doodlebug, and these are called Rainbow Hearts. And I'm just going to be adding a few of these to my background. And they're kind of in that same aqua. Aqua and brown look great together. And I'm using a pen blade to pick them up. And then I've got some more on the back. And I'm just going to be figuring out where I'm putting these little hearts. Because, you know, visual triangles and all that jazz, right? There we go. And I just think that this is an adorable little card. Like, I just love the little gnomes. I love the new mini s'mores release. It's just too cute. There we go. So now she's roasting her little marshmallows with her little stick to make some s'mores. So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog, Be Inspired, the Jaded Blossom store to get your hands on these amazing goodies. And thank you as always for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. And hopefully we will see you soon in my next one. Be sure you're a follower over at Jaded Blossom YouTube site and the Leanne K YouTube site. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.